What is going on, y'all? We are back with another YouTube live stream. And in this live stream, we are doing the unthinkable. Now, if you've watched one of my other A7S3 firmware update videos, I updated my Sony A7S3 right here from the later version to 3.02, I believe. It's in the description down below. You can go watch that if you want to check out how that upware update went. But long story short, you need to be a little careful updating the A7S3 because there are a few things that could or could not happen. So before we get into this is at your own risk. I warned you. Now, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. But one reason to update to the version 4.0 update, which came out in late April 2025 on the Sony A7S3, is in-camera LUTs. So now you can essentially get your LUTs in here and have the LUTs in the camera, which a lot of the other newer Sonys do. The A7S3 didn't have that, so that's kind of lame. There's also some little bug updates, etc. But one of the things that happened with the camera was some of the autofocusing actually decreased in its performance on one or two of the past updates. So we're going to see if this one will get it back to normal or if this is going to completely ruin the A7S3 forever, and then we'll have to live in the beautiful land of the ZVE1 that is filming right now. So let's get underway here. So pretty much get your A7S3, get the battery kind of nice and charged, then get your Creators app. Now, back in the day, Sony had another app that was the imaging mobile or imaging edit app or something. It kind of sucked. It wasn't that great at all. The Creators app, which I'm trying to get in focus, but for some reason it doesn't want to get. Well, long story short, it actually is pretty great. You can do things like operate the camera, etc., record, change ISO, change f-stop, do a lot of cool stuff. But the app actually does work pretty great. And you can even use like Bluetooth outside, not even near Wi-Fi with it. So this app's awesome. Now, what's great about this app too is now you can actually update the firmware within the app. So let's just get her done. So I have the Sony on, I have a memory card in, the battery's pretty charged. I actually have both things plugged in, just charging as we do this. Now, do this at home, do this with good Wi Fi. Don't be out and about just randomly doing this, and it will take about 15 to 20 minutes. So, on the app, you're going to see an update button. Now, this is literally very easy. Make sure your Creators app's updated. Make sure this is updated to at least the 3.02 version, which you can watch my video in the description to update it to that. Then update it to this. You can't really skip it. Be careful with that because the website was just telling me to be careful, especially with the Creators app. So, we have the app open, have it connected to the camera. It's right there. We're going to hit update. Now we're gonna wait a second. It's gonna show me read this fine print. If we break your camera, too bad. You're like, all right, next. Agree and download. Download. So now the app is downloading to the phone. So we're gonna wait a second and let this finish downloading. And then once it downloads, it's actually going very fast. All right, there we go. Download complete. So that was really fast. I just did the ZV1. It actually took like a good while to do that. This did it lightning fast. Now we're going to transfer the firmware update to the camera. So the camera's on, meaning transfer files to camera. Now it's asking is another device connected? Say disconnect, okay. Checking camera's response. So it's waiting for it to connect. I'm going to join. Now it's still connecting. We're still in the connection phase here. Checking camera's response, it says. It's a little, getting a little nervous, Boom. So now it is transferring the files from here to the camera. Now, be careful here. Don't go touching this. Don't touch the camera. As you can see, the camera is receiving data. This is sending data. So we're going to leave this alone for a second until it's at 100%. Right now it's at 20% and going up. So again, before you do this, click below in the description and assure you update it to the 3.02 firmware update before going all out to the version 4 update. And we are being sponsored tonight by the NutriBullet Super Smoothie machine that basically has kept me living the last couple of years with making the super smoothie on the daily. It has every ingredient known to man in here, and it's keeping your boy alive. So as we're downloading, we'll continue to enjoy the smoothie. 62%, so we're getting there. We're getting there. Now I'm going to talk a little bit about like what's funny is in the description you'll read on the A7S3. There's some myths that some of these software updates have somewhat botched the autofocus and maybe even other naughtier, gnarlier things. Now I definitely noticed on my A7S3 that the autofocus did suffer a teeny bit after the first firmware update, which bummed me out because the Sony A7S3 pretty much created the best autofocusing system in the whole game. And then everyone started using its little dot on the eye, which I see right now, and it changed the game. The Sony A7S3 was pretty much the best autofocusing camera in the Sony lineup and in a lot of other cameras lineups when it came out in 2020. Then they didn't update the firmware for months and months and months, for years. Then one day they gave us a firmware update, and obviously everyone was frothed and keen. So we all went updated it. But then what happened? You updated it, and some people say their autofocus stopped working as good, mine included. So it was kind of a bummer. But then I updated again to 3.02, and that did seem to fix a good amount of the autofocusing issues. So lately, my 7S3 has been performing very well. I don't think it's as perfect as it was, but I think that has a little bit to do with them starting to not want you to use third-party lenses like the Tamron. So there could be some sneaky stuff going on. I'm not too sure, but long story into a short story, this is all kind of a risk. And if you have whatever version that's working great, think twice before you update because unless there's a feature you need or want, might not be worth it. But there's another train of thought where you just want to have the camera always updated to the newest update. And, that's usually what I do. So I'm in too deep and I'm just going to go for version 4. It's a nice even number, version 4. We're on a whole new numerical number. So let's get her done. So as you can see, we now have the files have transferred. So this is done. So before I hit close though, I'm going to go over here to the Sony A7S3. Now it's giving me instructions like telling me you're about to do this, there's no going back. So you kind of read down by going to the very end. Don't turn off the camera. Don't remove the media card. The screen will be displayed, and this little light down here by the battery will blink. And it'll blink faster as you get closer to finishing the update. So I'm going to click all the way down. It may take several minutes. Clicking over, and then I'm going to click execute. Execute. Click it once, and don't just leave that open for a sec too. So now we wait. You're going to see the little light right here. See it blinking. Now that's a good sign. You want this light to blink like this, and as I said, it's going to blink faster as the update is performing. You don't see anything on the phone that is going to let you know if you're getting close or not. It's all about this blinking light and how fast it blinks. Now you can even hit close. Now we're waiting. The phone doesn't need to be used anymore for now. So we're just going to put the phone right here and wait for the camera to finish doing its thing. And as you see, we'll even zoom in a little bit. This light is starting to blink faster and faster. This will be a good suspense moment. So here it is, and the blinking is increasing. Now be patient. Don't do anything crazy here. You just wait until this light, see it's blinking faster. It's gonna go faster and faster until we reach the great conclusion of the update to version 4. So, again, do not touch this. You're going to be like, why is this thing taking so long? Why is it the screen black? I was kind of scared earlier, but then I realized that this is the main indicator. So just leave it alone and be patient. So we have a message from Deepak. Any relation to Deepak Chopra? And he says, hey, can you please tell me when we use custom LUTs, then we export, that file will be on slog3 or the same as the LUT? Good question. I believe the LUT will be built in when you export. Double check that, but that's the whole reason you'd want to film with the LUT in the camera, because then you're actually seeing what it's going to look like when it's exported. So you're kind of skipping the step of filming an S-Log, not knowing what the LUT's going to look like, and then you have the LUT. Now, there might be a way where, like, it's filming with the LUT, but it's also an S-Log, and then you maybe have two options of, like, have it baked in or not baked in. If you read the description down below, I copied and pasted all of Sony's benefits with this, and they kind of went in detail about what happens at S-Log3 with or without the LUT Deepak, but double check me on that. But really, the main best benefit with the custom LUT is that you're going to see what that LUT is going to be either way. So I am just guesstimating my answer there. I did not confirm that or not. I guess I could look it up real quick. Let's see here. And the internet is telling me yeah, it's telling me that it saves to the memory card and then it saves to the memory. So it seems to me that yes, in essence, the onset monitoring of the baked-in LUT will be baked in. So maybe that's a little sketchy. I don't know, but I actually just lately shoot a bunch in picture profile off. Don't tell anyone. I know it's like the most unprofessional thing ever, but I actually don't mind the picture profile off, especially on the ZV one, which I'm filming in the live stream. So now everyone, look, we have an amazing, amazing thing. Body update is complete. This is great news. And Deepak says, thank you, love from India. Well, thank you, Deepak. Much love to India. You guys are the best. I have a pretty big Indian statistical analytical population in my YouTubes. So thank you, y'all. Appreciate y'all. Guys, body update complete. Hit OK. Boom. That is essentially it. Now you can look at your phone, and the phone is still gonna say, it's not gonna really say nothing. It's the app's still open. You can experiment and just actually don't put the phone down. Now go into your. This is how you just double check that it worked. Go to menu, and then go to little globe at the little briefcase at the bottom. Go over, then go to setup option at the very bottom. At the briefcase in the bottom of this, right? And then you go to version, click version, body. It's telling you 4.0. We did it. The camera's still alive. It hasn't blown up yet. Okay? We're going to get out of that. Boom. Now, I'm going to do a quick. Let me zoom out again. So I'm gonna do a quick test, quick autofocus test with the A7S3, and we can kind of see if the camera just got destroyed or if it's gonna work. So you guys can kind of see it too. Now I'm gonna, focus on this surfboard. It's kind of working. I'm gonna focus on this. I'm gonna zoom in. There's a surfboard. Now it's at least working like it should. I'm clicking the little touch to focus. It's the best invention ever made, really. It's focusing, it's working great. Now, what I've noticed is really the thing we want to check here is like focusing on your face. So let's get this focused on my face here. Okay, and I'm gonna get this screen turned around so you guys can see. There we go. Very close, to too close for comfort, that's for sure. Now, it's pretty dark too, so the camera's a little confused. Up the ISO. All right, now it's too bright. Down a little bit. Now, there we go. Oh, look at this. Here we go. We're having a real time, and it's looking pretty great. Now, it is the box is in the middle of my nose, which that's not good. Now, you could even, I'm going to do this real quick. I'm actually going to shut the camera off and turn it back on just to like let it, turn off, turn back on. Maybe that'll not get any bugs. But right now, just this quick test, you can see in the little screen, it's doing pretty good. It's sticky, it's gluey. We want that. It's sticking, it's gluey. We want that. I'm even going to do a quick shut off and then a quick turn on. And then we're going to hop in and see if it wants to do it. Oh, no. Well, I noticed that my ZV one does this too. It actually wants you to give a little click and then it locks on. So, um, oh God, camera's broken actually. Now, what's really happening is I'm so close to the camera. There we go. That I'm just a little too close. So, can you see now? It is up. The camera's broken. Yep. Don't update it. See, if you updated it, it's broken. I'm just half joking. You know what also is going on? I have an ND filter on the camera. So I have an ND filter and the ISO is cranked. So that's actually not that much. It's 3200. My white balance is way off. Let's get this changed a little bit. Let's go to auto white balance. Just to like, it looks horrible here. Auto white balance. ISO up. Let's get it to 128. Second ISO. There we go. So, all right, I have an ND filter on it. So that was really messing it up. Let's bring the f-stop down a little bit. There you go. So now we're actually a little more properly exposed here. And now it is actually performing a lot better. So I think just from the get-go here, it's an okay update. It is working. I am already put it to the test. It is doing this weird focus on my nose thing now. Which I guess I don't mind because hey, but if you pick my face, I'll take it. So it's it's doing something. There we go. So, you know what? It's honey. Yeah. Unknown if this is better or worse. I'm gonna be honest here. Unknown. Try to get you guys to see this a little better. Here we go. So you can see my face right here. And I'm not the best lit. Um, it for sure isn't as sticky. I'm gonna zoom in too. Really get some movie magic going here. We're gonna film a screen, film on a screen. Here we go. This is what YouTube's for right here. So really what's happening is I'm gonna back up too, really put it to the test. So I have an ND filter on here that I forgot about. I guess I could take it off really quick. So that's gonna help it a lot. I'll bring the ISO down. There we go. So now there's no ND filter. That'll help it because the ND filter is essentially like sunglasses, so I have sunglasses on it. It's gonna make it not as good. But now we see that I'm getting the stickiness again. Now that it's actually on my eyeball again perfectly. So the ND filter I just had on it probably was messing with it a little bit. I'm gonna move around a little bit, and it's looking pretty good to me. I mean, where I've had the most issues with this is I'm gonna do it right here. Is when I'm shooting and I'm really backlit. So like right here is where it usually has trouble when you're very backlit and it doesn't know what to do. But right now it's actually doing a pretty good job. So I'm gonna say that to me this is great success. As a famous Borat would say, this is great success, and it doesn't seem worse. You know, here's another kind of tricky shot. That's where I noticed it's having the most issue is when there's a bright light behind you and the camera gets confused because there's like a bright light behind you, you're silhouetted. And a lot of times, like if you're shooting outdoors or you're shooting indoors and someone's against a window behind them, that's tricky because the light is blinding behind them. You have to crank the ISO to get me bright. So, say we have to bring this up. Then this is where the camera can get a little tricky. Now on my screen it is looking okay. For you guys it's pretty blown out because it's a screen filming a screen, but this is the tricky situation when I'm exposed, it's blown out back there, and the camera gets a little confused, but it's actually doing a pretty good job right now. So I'm gonna bring the ISO back down so you guys can see. But you know, I think it's a good bet. I don't think you're gonna lose out on too much. I mean, the 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 focus issue that I was noticing the most when I was having issues was more so pulsing, less it kind of getting confused where to focus. So as you can see right now, it's not actually pulsing. It's just trying to like stay with me. But it does seem like the stickiness is up a little bit. Which is great. That's really great. So I think it could be the move, you know. Get a solid version 4. You're feeling good. Kind of the move. Back this up a little bit. And I think it could be the move, because I'm looking at my ZV-1 now and it's doing a similar thing. Now, one cool thing I got on my ZV-1 was like when you go vertical, it actually um the menu goes vertical, which is actually pretty sick. Let me see if this does that. To me, it looked like it wasn't gonna do it. Oh, the camera's pretty hot too. For his A7S3, that's weird. So, oh, we don't get that. That's a bummer. So, with the ZV-1, it has a sick feature where you go like this, and this will actually change and go vertical. They didn't give that to us. Ooh, that's me no likey. Me no likey, because this gets a little old when it's still this way. But the ZV-1, the update, you go like this, and this flips, and it's actually like slamming. A7S3 didn't want to do it, so that's a bummer. But it's definitely the hottest I've felt in a while. So the firmware update put it through the ringer a little bit, but to me it's feeling good, feeling snappy. It's working. It's on. Hit record. The record button's working. Yeah, I think we're back in business. Sony's back. Sony A7S3 is back with this update, so it seems like it's performing a little better than it was. So my conclusion here, let me get a quick sip of my smoothie, is if you've never updated your Sony A7S3, I maybe would just not even update it at all. If you updated your A7S3 to the like version 2 point something or 3.01, then just update it to the next one and then this one. There were some of those middle updates to me that made the A7S3 worse for some reason. For me, the main thing was autofocus with a bright background and pulsing. Essentially lens breathing, but not as much of a, but way quicker and like way more kind of noticeable. Usually lens breathing will just happen once and then stop. But when it's happening like a couple times every 10 seconds it happens, then it's pretty much a deal breaker. But like if you just show a new shot and the lens breathes into the new shot, which is essentially kind of like it looks like a rack focus. I never really mind that, but when it's pulsing back and forth, it's like that will ruin shots. So, and there were a few that I shot when I first had updated it that kind of got ruined. Um, yeah, so we'll see if this is a Tamron lens, so we'll see if the newer updates make these third-party lenses even more obsolete. If this is like Sony's master plan to force you to buy like the expensive GM lenses. But again, what I've noticed is like it's funny that my Tamrons do seem to focus better than like the lower kit Sony lenses. So, um, oh, one other thing I wanted to try. So someone was saying that the Creators app wasn't working anymore when you did the update. So I actually was gonna just totally bail because I like the Creators app actually, geez, works pretty good. And I was gonna bail because that actually really comes in handy when you're in the field. It's a really handy app to be away from the camera and to hit record on your phone and then to monitor it on your phone and even hit stop, even mess with settings on your phone wirelessly in pretty much real time. It's pretty amazing. So I didn't want to lose that feature. So I'm gonna double check you can still use the Creator app with the A7S3. So let's do this really quick. So have you ever seen the beautiful white thingies? Whatever those are. Very beautiful. Well, not really. It's horrible. So we have the Creators app open. Now we're just gonna make sure we can still remotely shoot. So I'm gonna operate my camera. Now here's the moment of truth. Hitting remote shooting. Now go through the OKs, the yeses, the joins. We're gonna wait a sec, join, and then fingers crossed here. And this should pop up on the screen if all goes to plan. It's still waiting, and it's working. It's working. So praise him. Praise the God of Sony. So as you can see, this app's really cool. Like f-stop, you can literally change the f-stop on the fly. I'm bringing the f-stop up and down. ISO, same thing. Shutter speed. Look, I'm bringing it to super high film sensitivity, super low. And then really one of the best parts is record. So say I'm over here and I gotta film that thing over there. Oh, I can't touch the camera. Record. And look, the camera is recording. So luckily, I can confirm. I'm gonna let it roll for a sec too, just to make sure. I can confirm that this Creator app right now is is look, you can see the red box on the Creator app. It is allowing me to use this still, which is pretty great because you should really give this Creator app a go if you haven't yet. One, it let me did the update all just with the phone and the app. I didn't have to USB-C the camera into the computer. The firmware update was already on the Sony Creators app. I didn't have to actually download the update. It's on the app already. And now I'm filming stuff and it's all working pretty good. So pretty cool. Let's even get me in there. So, oh look, see? Now you're gonna have like 15 versions of me on 5 different screens. Just what everyone wants. Like pretty face everywhere. Oh, there we go. And look, you can even touch the focus. So, see if I can do this. So, okay, so there's me. Right now it's confused. But I'm gonna touch my eye, and look, it actually, well, it messed up a little bit, but I'm doing like 10 things at once. Really close to the camera too. So there we go. So I actually touched the app, and then it focused on me. That part's really sick. Because it's essentially like you can be a second AC, an assistant cameraman. Auto auto tracking focus from a monitor, aka your phone or the iPad creators app, to the camera. So it's a really cool feature, especially when you film yourself. Like so right now it's kind of, well, the Sony ZV-1 that focus, but like these kind of scenarios where you're filming yourself, this works great because you are in front of the camera, so I can't touch the camera or nothing. But if I have the app, my phone, I can, hit record, hit stop, make sure I'm in focus, maybe put the surfboard in focus, then put me in focus, and I'm getting recorded. Even something simple like checking your frame. Like, all right, time to record. Maybe the flippy screen's broken, maybe there's 15 cables going on. I can see myself the whole time, just double checking it all looks good and great. So pretty cool. So it's went for about 3 minutes. I'm gonna hit stop. Stops. There's the camera. Let's hit play. And here is the footage I just shot. It's all there. And interesting enough, wow, I didn't know if this was there before. Now I'm watching the playback on the phone. I don't think I could have done this before. Well, that's really sick. That is really sick. I'm pretty sure you couldn't do this. So that's a sick feature. I knew you could look at photos, but I didn't think you could look at videos. So, and it actually looks amazing. So that's pretty cool. So I'm watching that up there. It's witch magic. So you got to give Sony props with the new app. It really is pretty amazing. So I always use a filter, so I'm gonna put the ND filter back on just for now because I'm scared not to use a filter to protect the lens. But have like 15 of these laying around. They always come in handy. Yeah, guys, I'm gonna conclude that I think that the version 4.0, I think it's the move. I think it's the move. Um, if you're like either if you haven't updated at all and you don't want to mess around, don't update it. But if you've updated it at any time to any of the prior ones, I just say go for broke. Risk it all, like the thumbnail says, and update to the A7S3 version 4 update because yeah, you gotta just be in the cool club. Everyone's doing it, all the YouTubers are doing it. If you want to be cool, you gotta do it. You gotta take some risks in life. So that is it for this episode of this live stream. I appreciate everyone for tuning in. Till next time, we out. Before I leave, please drop a like, leave a comment if you're gonna do it or not. Please subscribe. It's much appreciated. Let me know, guys. Like, are you gonna update it, or are you too scared and not gonna update it? The likes are much appreciated. YouTube rewards when you get them likes. It loves likes. But all right, guys, we out of here. Appreciate y'all. Till next time. Peace.